So this video is going to be a little bit of a primer here for the upcoming CIB showcase auction that's going to take place on February 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully on Thursday you can come out to the live stream. Today's video is just going to be a little bit of a primer of everything that's coming up. I'm going to talk to you guys about variants, how to approach the CIB auction, some items that stick out, just stuff like that. Just a preview of the auction. And then once the auction is over this weekend, I'll put up a results video as well, just to try and get stuff on either side of the auctions. Ideally, I want to start doing this for every showcase auction that comes up. We'll do a preview video and a results video. Say thank you to every single patron who helps support the channel as well as the YouTube members. I can't do this without you guys. Hit the like button and let's get into this. So with this CIB showcase auction, it is going to be primarily NES games down the board. There is also some Super Nintendo. I think there is. Yeah, there's a little bit of Super Nintendo. We have pieces here, Ninja 5.0, 1 GBA, 1 Super Nintendo, 1 Sega Genesis, John Madden Football. Oh no, sorry, 2. We also have Streets of Rage sitting there. Lunar Eternal Blue is way down here. This is a not for resale promotional copy, so like, this is why I'm pointing out these few items that aren't NES games, because I think a lot of people are going to just look at it and be like, oh, it's all NES. I don't collect NES, but there is Lunar Eternal Blue down here, a couple Sega Genesis stuff, and NCAA Football signed by freaking Tim Tebow. Freaking Tim Tebow, everybody. So make sure you don't miss out on that. But for those of you who do care about NES collecting, CIB collecting, this is a big auction. A lot of stuff coming up. Like, NES is probably the most fun console to collect for, I think so. But it's also, it is the most difficult. I was going to say it's arguably the most difficult. Collecting for NES is the most difficult. There are the most variants by far, I think. But when you're going into this CIB auction here, like 10-yard fight, right? It's an 8.5 overall. Make sure you always check the components on this, because the way you can build a CIB is so different every time. This is an 8.5 with a 7.5 box, 9 manual, 9.6 cartridge. So an amazing cartridge, not so amazing box on this one. Here's another 8.5, right? Built completely different. This is more of an average 8.5 where every component is closer in grade. And I just want to point that out because the overall grade on CIB stuff doesn't tell the whole story. Sometimes we're going to get like incredible results on stuff and you might be like, why'd that happen? And it could be because inside there's a 9.8 cartridge or something. This 9.2 early print here, 1942, is also a beast. Like, that's very high grade for early Capcom. And it's only sitting at 155 right now. A lot of this stuff hasn't been bid up crazy. There is a little bit of stuff. I think Castlevania is sitting at 4,000. We'll talk about that more when we get there, but like Athena's sitting at 52 bucks, Alpha Mission 105, Balloon Fight 115. Almost every black box hang tab is in this auction, so if you are collecting those, like, it's a great chance to pick them up in great condition. Like this baseball right here is a hang tab copy, black box baseball, 9.4 overall. Like, this is crazy. The cartridge is a freaking 9.8. And the thing is, like, when you're buying a 9.4, like, if you actually go to the pop report, you can filter over to complete in box if you guys don't know. I'm sure most of you watching this do, but if you don't, you can filter to complete in box here. And if you go to a 9.4, like, you're basically always going to be the highest on the pop. There's a few 9.6s on certain games, but like, if you're buying a 9.4, you're probably either top of the pop or there's like one higher. So 9.4 is pretty darn safe. But again, always make sure to check your components, because some people might look at it and be like, oh, only a 9.0 box, right? And some people might look at it and be like, oh, a 9.8 cartridge, because then with complete in box, people are Frankensteining everything. There's a good example down here with Deadly Towers. So this is a complete in box hang tab game here where there are 0 first print hang tab copies, 0 sealed on the pop report. So if you want a nice first print of this game, there's 2 opportunities here, right? And the way these 2 CIBs are built, you could actually win both of these, and very likely you could combine them together to make an even nicer copy. This CGC one is a 7.5 box, 9.8 cart, 9.4 manual. This one here is a 9.2 overall, but with a 9.0, 9.0, and 9.4. So you might be able to just take this box here, 9.0, and put it together with the 9.8 cartridge and the 9.4 manual, and you'd turn this 8.5 into a 9.4? You might push a 9.4 on that. It'd be at least a 9.2. But people are absolutely Frankensteining this stuff. They're putting together nicest components, so that's why you're going to see like 9.8. 9.8 of any single component is going to bring a big premium. For those of you who still chase after the more traditional rare NES. We have Bonk's Adventure and Bubble Bobble Part 2. Bubble Bobble is actually a game that I still held on to as well. When I sold off all my NES stuff, I did keep Bubble Bobble Part 2. Really cool game. And seeing these up at auction right now, like Bonk's sitting at $825, Bubble Bobble $775, I did just go to price charting to actually see how Bubble Bobble has held up over the past, I don't know, 5-10 years. It's kind of crazy even just looking at the cost of a loose cartridge. Back in, what was it, like 2016 here, August through December 2016, the average price is like $340 for a cartridge. Right now, the average price for a cartridge is $365. So CIB, we can't really compare. You can see how volatile it is. It simply doesn't sell enough. It's so condition dependent, but the cartridge itself in the past almost 8 years now has, if you held the cartridge, if you invested in Bubble Bobble Part 2 cartridges, in 8 years, you did nothing, right? And it very well could be that this stuff is going to come back in the future, like when NES collecting, when video game collecting in general becomes more collector-centric, more collector-focused, these games definitely can come back in popularity. And this being a 9.4 on Bonk, like, that's nuts. Sitting at $1,000 right now. It's almost never been such a good time to buy like these high-grade rare NES games, dare I say. Hobby interest shifted so strongly. Like right here's Burger Time First Print Hang Tab 9.2. Even this, right, is sitting at $550. It's not that far off of Bubble Bobble Part 2 right now. And here's the Castlevania. This is basically, you know, this game has it all. Early print, high-grade, first production here, complete in box, sitting at $4,400 with BP. 9.4 box, 9.6 cart, 9.4 manual. I mean, it's tough to get better than this. Especially if you're getting a 9.4 box. 9.6 boxes do exist. I think there's very, very few 9.8 CIB, I think. But like, for all intents and purposes, if you can get a 9.4 box, you have as good as it's gonna get. And that's why the bidding here sitting at 4,000. I mean, people realize it. People realize it. The 9.0 hang tab here is sitting at $400 versus the 9.4 sitting at almost 10 times as much. That's wild. Cheetah Men 2 also makes an appearance at this auction, sitting at $1,800 right now. Of course, one of the rarest NES games that exist. It's just always fun seeing Cheetah Men. Commando's a 9.4 here. All of these early Capcom boxes here, you'll see the like made in Japan omitted. I'm pretty positive that does make them a first print on this because they didn't print made in Japan on the box. I'm pretty positive the next printing then added it to the box. Pretty positive that it's right here on the back is where it goes. Dragon Fighter, another classic rare NES game here, sitting at $2 hey? Like, obviously, I think some bids are gonna get placed during the live on this, but like, maybe there's gonna be some good deals to go around too, right? Dragon Fighter sitting at $2 right now is just comical. Kind of nuts here with Ghosts and Goblins. There's 3 frickin' hang tab copies here, a 9.0, a 9.2 CGC, and an 8.5. Having 3 of these in one auction, yeah, I think there might be a good opportunity here to pick up a real nice Ghosts and Goblins. I still collect CIB NES as well because you literally can't buy every NES game that you want factory sealed. You can't do it. A lot of them simply don't exist, and if you wanted to, if you actually wanted to try to get like everything sealed, you'd be spending tens of thousands of dollars. So Ghosts and Goblins, yeah, like I'll just be buying a nice CIB. It might even be tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. The Goonies 2 in 9.6, like this is one of the craziest CIB builds you're gonna see. Like frickin' 9.6, 9.8, 9.6 is crazy. Like, that's nuts. If you've never graded a complete in-box game before, it's like hard to say how hard that is, but like, that's nuts. Gunnak is another one here sitting at $3 and 8.5, another traditional rare NES game. Here's one of those super sneaky ones on Hogan's Alley that I was talking about. This is an 8.5 overall copy of Hogan's Alley, and the cartridge is a 9.8. If this explodes, like, that's why there's a 9.8 cart hiding in there. Legend of Kage here is another game where hang tab prints, it's 0. It's a WATA Pop 0 for first prints here. So 9.4 first print hang tab copy, that's nuts. And that's what I mean. Like, a lot of these games simply do not exist as first print factory sealed. Like, you literally can't have a factory sealed hang tab copy of this. Of course, we have first print Zelda hanging out over here, 8.0 complete in box, sitting at $625. Ninja Kidna 9.4 is freaking crazy. Popeye 9.4. There is a copy of Stadium Events, but it is a PAL version. Some of you guys are probably going to look at this and be like, why is it only sitting at $100? It is a PAL version of the game, so only the North American version of Stadium Events is a super expensive Super Grail. Other regions have some value, but as you can see, not anything close to what the North American version has. Of course, no complete in-box auction is complete without a Super Mario Bros. Sitting at almost $3,000 right now with BP. 9.2 overall with a 9.2 box. Jeez. There's a little bit of rust on the manuals, so you can definitely just upgrade the manual. It would be tough to turn it into a 9.4, but like 9.2 box on a hang tab Mario, that is a clean box. And that's not a first print. That's like this is the absolute latest hang tab print of the game. This should be a 6th print, I believe. I think the 7th print got rid of hang tab. I know there's so much emphasis on like first print, second print, third print and stuff, but if you can get a Mario Bros with hang tab in like near mint condition, that's good enough. Never mind having a matte sticker, gloss sticker. Like, just look for a super nice hang tab at this point. Volleyball here is doing super well. Geez, this is sitting at $1,800. This is a 9.2 hang tab copy of Volleyball. Like, I'm sure getting a factory sealed one is dang near impossible, so, you know, again, the best you're probably ever gonna get, but $1,800, man. I can't go through every single game, of course, but if you have any questions, if you're curious about variants, if you want like an opinion on something, please leave it down in the comments. The auction's taking place tomorrow. Hit the like button before you go, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.